Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, as usual, before I begin with this lesson, I'm going to start it off by giving all the glory and infinite praise to the true and the only living powers. The names are Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Akah HaKadosh. The divine said the elders and the apostles, we got millstone who I'm taught and learn this truth 100% from. Peace and blessings be to all you are. Wa'adim who are serving Yahweh Shema Shine sincerity, hoping for mercy, as well as salvation in these last days, man. To you I say Shalom, and Yahweh Shema Shine Barakathon. So this gonna be a press the button, or hit the button after the gym. You know, I really ain't just got a set topic to get into, but the spirit was on me to speak on the Pesach, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's on May 1st, or not May 1st, on April 1st, man. Which is the same time, if I ain't mistaken, that those damn small headers is gonna hold theirs as well. So when you look at it in the spiritual sense, you're gonna have a sacrifice on the left hand side, because that's who they sacrificing to. Right, rather some of them know it or not. Right, they making a sacrifice on the left hand side, and we making a sacrifice on the right hand side. So just imagine all that spiritual tension that's gonna be in the air. And usually around the time of the Passover, you know, during it or after it, you know, there's always something that usually something spiritual happens. Like I remember one year, a chariot that popped up over there in the Middle East on one of their bases, and they was shooting at it, and the chariot was basically dodging and weaving all that shit. You know, there was nothing they can do to, there was nothing they could do against the chariot, man. You know, you got a lot of jakes that, get their spirit quenched, which is something that I damn sure don't want to happen. Right? That's something that none of us should want to happen. You know, because we damn sure not in the time to be falling out of the truth, bro. You know, look at everything that's going on in the world, bro. The world is on fire, man. And call like Yahweh Shema Shah, because we in some beautiful times, man. Imagine how the apostles feel. You know what I'm saying? The apostles been teaching for 30 plus years. You don't think they've been waiting on times like these? You know, the scriptures even say in the book of Matthew 13 and 17, if I ain't mistaken, that it be many of those that desire to see the things which ye see and the things ye hear, but they have not heard them, so to speak. Basically talking about those of the generations of old. You know, when you read in Matthew 24, shit, the disciples, they was I don't know if the right word would be yearning. You know, the scriptures does say to hasten the day of Yahweh Shai, but I think, they was yearning for, to know when Yahweh Shai was gonna come back. But we living in real time, seeing these prophecies unfold, man. Right? Because even though you had certain prophecies that did come to pass during the time of the prophets, and even after, we're living in a time where all the major biblical prophecies are going to come to pass, man. Right? And it's going to be heavy times. It ain't going to be like what Jake think it's going to be like, man. Right? We living in some heavy ass times, man. Times of heavy judgment. There's a reason why the Lord saved these times for the last. Right? This is going to be the worst time ever, man. And with the Pesach coming up, you should be begging and hoping that Yahweh Shai's blood is covering your doorpost, man. At least that's the spirit that I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping and praying that Yahweh Shai's blood is on my spiritual doorpost, so that when the Lord does start to send them death angels, I'll be exempt from judgment, man. I have that dawah. You know what I mean? Because ain't none of us, promised to even make it. You know what I mean? So this is why you got to take advantage of these sacrifices you know what I'm saying, to try to cover your ass. And even then, there's still nothing you can do about it, because everything goes into, you know, being preordained, man. But the Pesach is coming up. You know, you got to make sure you purging out that leaven, man. We in heavy times, and you know, the Lord looking for those whose garment is not stained, you know, ketchup, mustard, and shit. And you know, the Lord is looking for those who have, you know, them clean garments, who came to the wedding prepared, man. All right, you wouldn't go to a wedding, you know, all sloppy dressed and funky or nothing, man. All right, you got to take that same mindset, but it's all spiritual, man. All right, you got to take that same mindset in the spirit going into these times, man, as well as into the Pesach. You know, you got certain camps that's finna be, I ain't too sure when they hold theirs, but I know some of them is coming up. And prepare to see a whole lot of folly within that shit. All right, prepare to see niggas trying to, you know, have fashion shows and break dances, and prepare to see Israelite leaders trying to be, you know, exalting themselves and shit, and you know what I'm saying, because that's what that shit all be about, man. All right, they don't be in a serious state of mind whatsoever. All right, because they fucking clueless. All right, they don't truly believe that shit is finna hit the fan in Babylon. That's why they in the spirit that they in. You know what I'm saying? Because if you was truly convinced that this shit was finna go down, you would be in a whole different other spirit than trying to, you know what I'm saying, break dance to that whack ass Israelite music and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just hoping that the Lord cover me, you know, my household, you know, and of course, you know, those that I do love, and I hope that the Lord does cover the brothers and, you know, their household, and the Lord will, man. All right? Hey, we ain't shit, but at least we trying, man. And the Lord see that. The Lord see that we trying. So the Lord is gonna cover us, because he said that he would. He said that our works would not, you know, go unnoticed, so to speak. You know, we out there, you know, hitting the hedges. And first and foremost, you know, you got to be living this thing behind the camera or outside of the camera when the camera is off, man, because that's what truly matters. You could be doing as much lessons, and you know, and of course I gotta take this into account, you know, for myself as well, because I can be talking and talking, not doing it. All right, but you know, you got to make sure, you know, you practicing what you preach, and you got to actually walk these scriptures, man. All right, because if you don't, then that'll make you a hypocrite. And, you know, it is a lot of hypocrites within Israel. All right, and that's why judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High. It's going to begin at including myself. You know what I'm saying? Which is some scary shit. This is why, you know, handle business now. You know, read now, study now, pray now, fast now. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget about these high holy days. Man. You got Jake, they probably be forgetting and shit. Like, you know, now ain't that time. Huh? You know, it's time to buckle up. Like as the scriptures say, to gird up the loins of thy mind. Man. You know, that don't only just apply to, you know, you getting ready to enter into some harsh times, but also you getting your spirit ready, man. All right, but you know, with that being said, this was just something you know, real quick. You know, through the Wakakadash, I'm finna reach my destination. Lord willing, you know, you brothers and sisters did take, you know, some type of spiritual advice from this lesson. I don't want to say. So with that being said, Shalom, Yahabashima Shabrakatun, and Abba.